Good day, my plant foldies. This is Richie at Grow Folds, and today we'll be converting this plant from soil to semi-hydro by putting this Alocasia into Leca. As always, please make sure you're hitting the like button for this video, as well as following me on Instagram at Grow Folds. That's the fastest and most direct way to get in touch with me. You can see that the first step to making a soil conversion to semi-hydro is to remove soil from the roots. It is really important that you remove as much of the soil from the roots. In today's video, I will show you how I am going to convert this Alocasia on Toro Velvet that I got from Plant Keeper Incorporated from a Dallas shop in Dallas, Texas. You can see that this is a beautiful Alocasia, black Alocasia that was in a 6-inch planter. So what I'm doing is I'm carefully removing the soil from the roots. It's very time consuming, or it can be, because you want to be sure to not damage the roots. So what I'm doing is I'm patting around it, trying to loosen up the soil. Whenever you're doing a soil conversion to semi-hydro, it's always easier to use a plant that hasn't been watered. So most of the soil is mostly dry. It makes the soil just come off easier as compared to a newly watered plant. So if it's possible, you want to do a soil conversion where the soil is pretty much dry. Here's the thing about Alocasia. I am also going to look for corms, and I may possibly split this Alocasia into multiple plants. That's the thing I love about Alocasia, is especially with the developed one, you might be able to get a few babies out of it. And you can see that I am going to be digging through the soil. Look at this. I already found one corm. And at the end of this video, I will show you how I pot up the corms to make more Alocasia babies. Hopefully I can get them to sprout. I've been able to get some of my Alocasia to sprout from corms using a heating mat and a grow light. But you can see right over here, plant foldies, I am just carefully removing the soil. And as I remove the soil, I am discovering that there are a couple more corms. Those are basically the Alocasia seeds. We'll see if this Alocasia will do well. What I'm doing is I'm actually going to put this Alocasia in a semi-hydroponic substrate. I happen to have a little bit of lechuza pond, so I'm going to put this plant in lechuza pond and leca, mostly leca, because I don't have as much lechuza pond. But when I pot this up, the lechuza pond is going to be around the Alocasia, and you can see right here that is another corm that I'm going to pluck and pull out and separate. So this is basically what I'm going to do. Most of this video, I'm not going to do nearly as much talking. I really just want to show you the process of how I convert my plants to semi-hydro. Reasons why you want to convert your plant from soil into a semi-hydroponic substrate like lechuza pond or leca is, if you are like me, where I don't have as much time to water my plants, and some plants are just better in a semi-hydro substrate. You can see I got another corm right over here. You want to go ahead and convert your plants to semi-hydro. This is something that I'm learning, and hopefully some of you guys have found value in some of my semi-hydroponic conversion videos. I know that you guys are looking more so for the big box or plant shopping videos, and have no fear, the bulk of my content is big box or plant shopping, but I do want to show you some relaxing plant chores. Hopefully, if you are a plant Foldy, a big supporter of my channel, you will also watch this video throughout the whole process. I have some big box store videos ready, and I'm going to go ahead and separate that plant. You can see that I got one free plant and I got a second free plant right here. It looks like those are babies that have sprouted from corms, and that's the thing about Alocasia. As they mature and get ready, they are going to do much better with producing more babies and corms. So here's one of the Alocasia, and it actually has a couple of corms that I'm going to keep on for that I've separated from the mother plant. And here is another one as well. I'm going to be potting these baby ones in 5-inch self-watering planters. And I think I'm going to go ahead and separate that big one and get 2 large plants. We'll see what that looks like. But as you can see right over here, the next step is to really rinse out the roots. Make sure that you're cleaning the roots out. And then I will also spray some neem oil spray. It's a DIY neem oil spray that I spray on the roots as well as the leaves. So I'm going to do an initial wash first to get as much of the soil off. And I will also wash the leaves just to make sure if there's any potential pests or pest eggs that I washed it off the plant. Because once you put a plant in semi-hydroponic substrate like Leca or Lechuza pond, you can't really use systemic granules like you would if you had it in soil. So it's very important to go ahead and spray down your plants. It's just a good habit anyways to make sure that you're spraying down your plants with neem oil or like insecticidal soap just to get rid of any potential pests. Prevention is the best way to keep infestations for pests. And you can see this is the spray I'm going to use. I'm actually using We the Wild neem oil spray, just a bottle because I've already made my own little neem oil spray. So what I'll do is I'll spray the plants down with this, the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves, the petioles, the stems, in between the nodes and the roots, and let it sit on there for about 5 minutes. And then I go back and just wash off the roots as much as I can to get rid of the soil as well as the neem oil. But I like to keep the neem oil spray on the leaves as well. It's an added layer of protection for the plant. So that's the next steps into converting your plants into semi-hydro, and I'll show you the rest. It'll just be the repeated steps as well. So enjoy the relaxing ASMR sounds from just the spraying, the water, and all of the other noise that you make when you're doing relaxing plant chore videos. And you can see the roots are really clean, and you can see that there is a corm that I'm just going to keep with this plant and hope that it actually sprouts when I pot it up. I'm going to go ahead and just rinse this sink again with some hot water, get that station cleaned up for the next set of plants. So you can see that this is the larger alocasia, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-clean the roots again and then spray some neem oil spray on it. And I have decided to go ahead and split this plant up because the original plant is still fairly large. I am going to pot all of these plants in 5-inch self-watering planters that you can purchase off of Amazon. And really, I wouldn't recommend using your sink to wash your plants because I really feel like after all of these hydroponic conversions, I'm going to end up clogging the sink. I have a really good garbage disposal, and I do try to just rinse it out and clean and use the garbage disposal as soon as I'm done rinsing off some of the soil. But you can see right here, the roots are super healthy, and they're actually pretty thick because alocasia roots are typically thinner. So I feel like this conversion is going to be a higher probability. Here's the thing, I had a plant foldy mention that they added Aglaonema into Leca and that they were losing leaves. Sometimes the plant actually declines in health before it actually starts to recover from the transition, because you have to think the soil roots are different than like hydroponic roots or roots that are more conducive to growing in water. And you can see there's another corm right over there. I'm going to go and pluck that off. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to grow some of these corms in perlite after I'm done cleaning and potting up these alocasia. Plant foldies, if you made it this far into the video, please make sure you are pressing the thumbs up or like button for this video. It definitely helps push this content out to more plant lovers like yourself. And if you enjoy plant chore videos, please let me know in the comment section. I know a lot of you guys look for the big box or plant shopping videos, but I really want to diversify my plant content on my YouTube channel. So hopefully you appreciate a different type of plant content. I enjoy showing you my personal plants. And as you can see right here, I'm just going to go ahead and spray down these leaves, and look at how gorgeous this alocasia is. This alocasia on Toro velvet. The leaves have a velvety texture and kind of fuzzy as well. So just spraying down the plants again. I just want to make sure that there are no plant pests. If you have any questions about, converting your plants from soil to Leca or lechuza plant, please leave that in the comment section, or you can send me a direct message on my Instagram. Follow me at growfolds on Instagram. So you can see I've split the two plants up, and that's just an easy split. That's one way of to propagate alocasia, is when you have a mother plant, you can actually separate all of the babies and pot them up, or you can also look for corms and grow them yourselves. I love the fact that even though I spent $50 on this alocasia, I've gotten 4 plants out of it so far, and several corms that I'm hoping will sprout for me. It takes about 3 weeks for alocasia corms to sprout, but once they do, you'll have a bunch of free plants, and who doesn't like free plants? But anyways, this is what I'm doing. I'm just repeating the same process of cleaning and disinfecting the plant, making sure that it's got a really nice layer of neem oil spray, and then I'll let it sit there for about 5 minutes, and then I go back and wash the roots really well. You don't really want to have any signs of soil if possible, because soil could potentially rot the roots as it's converting and transitioning into semi-hydroponics. And plant foldies, you can see that I've really cleaned these roots up, and I got rid of some potential leaves that were going to die off anyway, just so the plant can focus on the actual healthy leaves, because it is going to need a lot of energy to transition its roots from soil to semi-hydroponics. So I am hopeful these alocasia will actually transition well because I am going to be using lechuzapon, and you can see that there is another corm right over here. I like doing this process. I love sharing this process. You know, there is a YouTuber by the name of the Leca Queen that has really inspired me to really convert a lot of my plants into Leca. I did, if I had to choose though, I would love to use lechuzapon, but it is still out of stock on Amazon. Hopefully, I will be able to grow more alocasia in my plant collection once I acquire more lechuzapon. But for now, I'm going to use whatever lechuzapon I have left. And so the next step right here is step 3, which is basically using pon and leca. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pot up all of my alocasia in 5-inch self-watering planters. What you want to do is actually have the wick string pull up a little bit to the middle of the self-watering planter, so that way whenever the wick string pulls up water from the water reservoir, it's going to take it to the middle of the pot versus just keeping it at the bottom of the pot. That way your alocasia or whatever your plant you're actually converting into semi-hydro is going to get that water from the wick string. You can see I am mixing some lechuzapon, and I'm taking this plant right here. I am going to plant it further down into the pot. I'm actually using a 6-inch planter for this one because this one is fairly large, and the original alocasia that I split up is actually was actually in a 6-inch planter. So what I'm doing is I actually use the base and put a bunch of leca just to stretch out the lechuzapon, and you can see that I am using mostly lechuzapon to bury the alocasia roots. Alocasia really respond well to lechuzapon for some reason, and so that's the reason why I've been able to grow them a little bit long term, and it's just made the care a lot easier. And then once I put the lechuzapon around the actual roots, I'm going to go ahead and top it off with the and pot up the plant with leca instead, so that way I can stretch the lechuzapon for my other alocasia that I intend to pot up in self-watering planters. But it's fairly easy as you're potting up these plants. So you want to tap the sides of the planter to make sure no air bubbles stick around. You want to make sure that all of the roots in the pot are fairly snug with the substrate, and that's basically it. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat that step with the other alocasia that I've split up, and then we're going to see the final process. So again, plant foldies, hopefully you are learning something in terms of how to convert your soil into semi-hydroponic substrates like leca. You can see that it's an easy process. I think the most challenging part is just making sure you are cleaning the roots as best as you can. If you're asking me how long it takes for a plant to really establish in semi-hydroponics, it takes a good month to really see whether the plant has converted into semi-hydroponics. I put a lot of my plants like alocasia in them, and I've noticed that once new growth starts to happen, that's when you know the plant has really acclimated to its new substrate. But if you do have a successful transition to semi-hydroponics, it just makes your plant care so much easier because you pretty much don't have to water the plant. You just have to fill up the water reservoir, and the self-watering wick will just keep the plant watered. So for me, somebody who's super busy and is always on the go, this has made plant care a lot easier. It takes the guessing game out of it, and it just makes your plants, the care just more simple, if that makes any sense. So you can see I am going to go ahead and pot up my plants using leca. So I'll use a layer of leca to fill up the bottom of the planter, and then I'm going to pull up that wick string again. It is very important that you pull the wick string up further into, further up into the pot, so that way the water will actually be pulled all the way to the middle of the pot. Whenever you're potting up your plants, you want to kind of put it right next to the wick string. That way it is constantly keeping the roots moist and watered. And you can see this is the second one that I'm going to put down. This one was from the larger mother plant, and you can see this is another larger alocasia. We're going to see if these plants actually transition well. I may do an update a month or two from now on these conversions of my semi-hydroponics. As you can see, a lot of my plants have gone into semi-hydroponics, and I am a huge fan of it. Another tip I would say is you just need to make sure you have a good nutrient solution, because long term your plants are not going to be able to grow well if they're just sticking in water. They have to have nutrients in order to grow. Obviously, you want to give them bright indirect light whenever you're transitioning these plants. The more bright indirect light you give them, the better and more healthy these plants are. It's going to really help boost the root systems to grow and transition into semi-hydroponics. So as you can see right here, plant folies, again, I'm just repeating the process and tapping the sides of the pot just to make sure all of the air pockets are taken care of. And then we're going to go to the next step, which is rinsing, watering with nutrient solution, and then filling up the water reservoir with nutrient solution. And then we'll get to the final step. So enjoy as I pot up my plants. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoy this type of content. And if you made it this far into the video, please press the thumbs up or like button. I really need your support, because if we get like 100 likes within a 24-hour span, I've noticed that YouTube will push my videos to more plant lovers like yourself. We are so close to 12,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that we can accomplish that before the end of the month. So let me know in the comment section, and please press that thumbs up button. And then this is step 4, and that's to make the nutrient solution. So what I'm using is a gallon size container. I fill it up with a layer of water, and then I start mixing my solutions. So the first solution I will use is actually a Grow Concentrate by We the Wild. It's actually made by Worm Castings, and the reason why I want to put this in my nutrient solution, and I'm only using 1/4 of a tablespoon to put into the container, the gallon container. And the reason why you want to do a very micro dose, a small micro dose of nutrient solution, is you don't want to overwhelm the plant. But the Grow Concentrate has a lot of microorganisms that will help really establish the roots. So that's one of the solutions I'll do. And then the next one I will use is actually Super Thrive. Super Thrive is a solution that's good for plants because it has B vitamins. And then I will also use Fox Farm fertilizer, the growth liquid solution, and this one will help with foliage growth. Again, it will ask for a tablespoon per gallon, but I'm actually just going to use 1/4 of a tablespoon, so a small amount. And then what I do is after I put each nutrient, I will put water in there to mix it up. You do not want to mix up all the nutrients at once because there might be some type of chemical reaction. So you want to make sure that you're actually putting a layer or two of water, just really filling up the container, and then adding the next nutrient solution. So I will just flash what nutrient solutions I have in this. Everybody has like a different way of doing that, but for me this has worked out very well. And I mentioned Super Thrive, so I just use a capful of my Super Thrive solution. It is a B vitamin. It helps with stress, and you know the plant for sure is going to be stressed because you're uprooting it from a soil substrate and then putting it into a new environment. So for me, I really do believe in Super Thrive. Some people are not believers of the Super Thrive solution. They feel like it doesn't do much for the plant, but to me, I really do see a difference in terms of just the plants from, you know, recovering whenever you're doing repotting, or especially when you're doing semi-hydroponic conversions. But you can see that each nutrient I put water before I put another one. So this is the Super Thrive Protect solution. So this actually is a silica solution. So I'm using a full tablespoon now. So I'm going to do that because I want to be a little bit more liberal when it comes to that type of nutrient solution. Silica actually makes the plant cells a little bit more durable, so it'll actually make it more drought tolerant, and just more, I guess it's just going to make it a stronger plant. When it comes to variegated plants, it really does reduce the crisping of the white variegated leaves. I've noticed that whenever I water with silica solution, it does help that out. And as far as roots, it prevents it really from root rot. And that's the thing about moving plants from soil to semi-hydro. The biggest concern is whether the roots are gonna rot, and sometimes it can't, you know, sometimes you can't help it. I always say not to let the roots sit in water, or at least let it sit in water. You want to always just have the water reservoir right above the catch pot is what I meant. And then the next step now is I'm taking this plant, and after I make the nutrient solution, you want to go ahead and rinse out your substrate. Some people say you can skip it, but for me, I like to rinse out the Leca and Lechuza pond. So I'll take about 30 seconds on each one, and then I will water with my nutrient solution. So here it is right over here. So I'm just literally cleaning up the Leca. I want to make sure that it's super soaked to make sure that all of the debris and everything is washed away. Again, I am using my sink. Would not recommend using this on the sink, but it has been super cold in Texas. We are getting another Arctic blast, so it's one of those situations where I don't want to really compromise the potential cold damage that could happen if I were to water these plants or rinse them outside right now. So I'm using my sink. Let me know in the comment section again if you have any questions about the process. It's pretty self-explanatory. I've made several videos of this. I just really enjoy sharing my personal plants and what I do in terms of the care. I know you guys see me doing a lot of shopping videos, and I love plant shopping, but I also want to show you what I do after I've actually bought the plants, how they acclimate into my home, and what I do in terms of growing them in semi-hydroponics. next, I'm just going to water the plant with nutrient solution. So the nutrient solution is already super diluted. I like to spray the plant again with a layer of neem oil spray. I feel like there's not any harm in really spraying down the plant because number one, it is adding a layer of protection. And then number two, if there's any potential plant pests, they will get eradicated. So, I mean, that's always a plus. But what I do is after I water with the nutrient solution, I will fill the water reservoir with nutrient solution. So what I'll do is I'll do half of the nutrient solution that's already diluted, and then I will fill up the water reservoir line to the point where it's just regular water to further dilute it. And again, it's because you want to make sure that you're not overdosing the plant with too much nutrient solution. You just want to make sure that you're introducing it to the point where it's going to get some nutrients, and then eventually you can change the nutrient solution not to where it could be full dose. But what I would do is only dilute it for at least the first month, and then when you fill up the water reservoir again, you can use a full blast of the nutrient solution. So again, it's pretty easy. I love doing this process, and hopefully this alocasia is going to do well in my care. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat the steps again. Enjoy the relaxing sounds of the water and just the ASMR. For those that are new to this channel was actually originally an origami ASMR channel. So hopefully you will find this a little bit relaxing, and it's kind of be like brand recognition, because if you look at some of my older videos, a lot of it is origami ASMR. So definitely check that out if you're curious, but enjoy the rest of the process of converting these alocasia into semi-hydro. And the final step is to spray and clean the leaves, which is my favorite part. So I am using now the Wild Neem Oil Protect Spray. You can actually buy this at Target, a big box store called Target. I'm using the microfiber gloves to spray it and then wipe it down. I wipe the tops of the leaves, the bottoms of the leaves. I even wipe the petioles, the stems, and spray this pretty liberally. It has a really nice smell. It doesn't smell like typical neem oil, and you can see that the leaves are shiny, and it's also got a layer of protection. And as you use microfiber gloves, it also wipes away any potential plant pests or plant eggs, pest eggs. So you want to make sure that you do this step. I feel like it's necessary, and you can see that the final product later on, you'll see how clean and shiny the leaves are, and it just gives it an extra level of elegance and presentation. Hopefully you are liking this type of content, again, Planfoldies. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I hope that you can actually press the thumbs up or like button as I finish up this semi-hydro conversion, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of this video. And before I show you the final product of the conversion, I'm going to show you how I'm propagating Alocasia corms. So I actually have pudding cups that I bought from Daiso, a Japanese dollar store out in Frisco, Texas. Love it because it is basically a small humidity dome. So what you want to do whenever you collect the Alocasia corms is you want to go ahead and put it in like a dome or some place that's going to get a lot of humidity. What I'm going to use is perlite, and I bought this perlite from HEB, which is a local Texas grocery store. Super inexpensive too. And what I'll do is I will fill this up with perlite right here about halfway through. And once I fill it up with perlite, I am going to basically take the corms and place them in here. You want the corms to be facing up, and then I'm gonna put maybe 4 in each one, and hopefully some of them will, or maybe all of them will actually sprout. What I'll do is once I pot these up in perlite, I'm gonna go water them with some very diluted nutrient solution, and then just cover up the pudding cup with the top of this as a humidity dome. I'll place it underneath, or I'll place it on top of a heating mat under a grow light, and 3 weeks later, hopefully I will get some alocasia babies to pop up, and then I can pot them up in lechuza pond or leca, and I'll have some more and alocasia untour velvet. So this is a great way to multiply your plant collection. This is a great way to basically get free plants that you can share and give to others. I always say sharing is caring, and this is basically how I propagate Alocasia corms. It's really easy, and I just love using the Daiso pudding cups because the pudding cups have a bottom layer and a top layer that basically covers the cup, so you have your humidity dome ready to go that way. Again, if you have any questions, plant foldies, let me know in the comment section, and I'm basically going to finish off potting this up, and you'll see the rest of the process as I demonstrate it in this video. And plant foliage, you can see super easy. It's going to give it some good humidity, and if you place it over a heating pad for seeds, it's really going to increase that heat and really get those corms activated to where they're going to push out some growth. Hopefully this will be successful, but as I pan around here, look at how stunning Stunning, these Alocasia Antura Velvet. If I'm the only one who thinks these are stunning, I'm okay with that. But I'm super proud of myself for being able to convert these into semi-hydroponic. I mean, it has become very easy for me. I know when I first initially started it, I was a little bit concerned that it would make my plants die, or they won't make the conversion. But a lot of my conversions for semi-hydroponics have done very well. Can I say that every single plant that I've converted into semi-hydro has made it? Absolutely not. Some of them have made it to plant heaven, but that's really the risk that it takes whenever you're moving plants into semi-hydro. Plant care, or just plants in general, there's never a complete perfect science around it. Some plants, they just don't make it, but if these plants are able to make it through the conversion, it's going to make these plants a lot easier to maintain. It looks like I potted them up in Leca, but really it's really the top dressing of the semi-hydroponic conversion. I've used a lot of lechuza pon, and for the Alocasia, they do or respond better with lechuza pon because they have finer roots, and for some reason Alocasia roots just tend to respond better when it comes to lechuza pon versus Leca. But as far as Leca, it is the more cost-effective substrate if you're going to convert your plants to semi-hydro. But you can see as I spin this around, look at how gorgeous this Alocasia is. I love dark foliage plants, and if you want to know where I bought this Alocasia, I bought this from the Plant Keeper Incorporated, which is basically a Dallas nursery in downtown Dallas that a lot of people don't know a lot about. But if you are able to go visit that place, please say hello to Garen. He is the nursery manager. I have known him for several years, and I'm really excited that I was able to get this Alocasia. There is another variegated Alocasia that I'm debating on whether I should purchase it or not, because again, Alocasias for me, I have to have them in semi-hydroponic substrate in order for them to really do well in my care, in my plant collection. But I've gotten 4 plants out of it and several corms that hopefully will sprout, so I may be able to share this with maybe some of our Plant Foldy viewers here, maybe with Janae Simone and Stephen of I Live Plants. Definitely check out our Cultivation Corner plant podcast. We are about to debut season 2, episode 1 on February 18, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Cultivation Corner YouTube channel. And as far as this though, it has been a very fun plant chores, relaxing plant chores video. I always enjoy doing stuff like this, and I just like giving you comments about just semi-hydroponic substrate and the conversion on it. I typically don't add a lot of Alocasia into my plant collection because they are finicky plants, but whenever you move them to semi-hydroponic substrate versus just growing them in soil, they just do a lot better in most people's care indoors. Now, if you're going to grow an Alocasia and you grow it outside in a shaded area that gets a lot of bright indirect light, they do extremely well. They actually size up very well. And for me, just taking the risk of moving them into semi-hydroponics, hopefully they will make the conversion. I mean, the fact that I was able to get 4 plants out of this is already a win for me. And for me to just be able to share my process with the Plant Foldy community, I'm really trying to diversify my plant content. And for those that are really diehard fans or folks that really support me, whether I do big box or plant shopping videos, I really appreciate it. So hopefully you will press the thumbs up or like button for this video. I really enjoyed showing you the process. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave that in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my plant YouTube channel, Grow Folds Plants. Subscribe with all the notification bell on. This is Richie at Grow Folds. I will have a brand new video for you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.